Good evening, everyone. This is Pradeep Mal, Ambassador of Change from GETI, the Global Education and Training Institute of Lucknow. We are the premier training institute in India for teachers and principals, and we have many in-service and pre-service programs. For more information on this, please go to 740-840-1000. Right now, you're on our disruptive education platform, and on this platform, we have met with and interacted with more than 1,400 uh, educators from India and all over the world. And this evening, we have for you Mr. Mahendra Vikram Singh. He is the activity coordinator come French trainer for the Bhartiyam International School in Rudrapur in Uttarakhand. And he has done his BA honors and B.Ed. Then he's done the DELF from the French Ministry of Education, the B2 level in French from Alliance Français, the Delhi, and the University of Diploma in French from the University of Delhi. He has an experience of 7 years. He enjoys uh, walking in the hills, and he has written a book called Little Drops of Joy. Mr. Mahendra Vikram Singh is from Rani Khet in Uttarakhand. He has had his schooling from the Vikram Birla Institute of Learning in Halwani and went on to pursue French language course from Alliance Français in Delhi and did his English honors there. He worked with the national award-winning director O'Neill, known for many of his films, and he started with the production team in the movie Shah, starring Ravina Tandon. Which was released on the 14th of July 2017, and later he worked as creative director, art director, and assistant director in various projects. He's a language expert. He's been a French facilitator in Delhi, Delhi's residential CSKM public school in Chhatarpur, and French language expert with the Rachna Sagar Book House in Delhi. He has also worked as guest faculty for universities, recently working as activity coordinator and French teacher in the Bhartiyam International School, as I had mentioned earlier. In Rudrapur, his exposure to the world of cinema and culture has worked to establish a love for fashion and a desire to revel in the same. He is passionate for the craft of apparel and design. He believes that the true person is a reflection of simplicity and honesty that shines through the way we carry ourselves. And he will be speaking to us today on a career in the French language. Thank you, sir, for being with us. And over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. First of all, I would like to thank GETI team and Mr. Pradeep for giving such a wonderful opportunity. So today I'll be speaking about career in French. As you know, foreign language is emerging and it is having a great scope. So today I begin with that. So first of all, bonjour à tous. Hello everyone. That is the way we greet in French. And now we have career in French language. So as you all know, French is one of the most romantic language in the world, and everyone want to learn that. And French language, that is known as Français, and probably the most internationally significant romance language in the world, that I have already told you, a language of love. So definitely it's it's famous between youngsters, who feels to go to the city of love, country of love, and to speak the language of love. So today I'll be discussing about the various good reasons to learn French. So first I'll explain you learning one language is not enough. So as you know, in today's world, speaking one foreign language is not enough at all. Those who speak several languages, they will increase their chances of finding a job, whether at home or abroad. or now being online due to COVID, we got an opportunity to discover ourselves into online industry. So definitely they will get a chance to work online too, and learn learning another language always enriches the mind and open up the new horizons, new corridors, both personal and professional way. Second, French is, along with English, the only language spoken on all five continents. So, as more than 220 million people speak French on all five continents, the French is a major language of international communication. It is the second most widely uh, learned language after English, and also the sixth most widely spoken language in the world. French is also the second most widely taught language after English and is taught on every continent. Then, third, we have a career asset, as we are going to discuss about the career in French language. So, this is a very important point. The ability to speak French, and even both English and French, if we say, is an advantage for finding a job with many multinational companies, using French as working language in a wide range of sectors: retailing, automobile, luxury goods, aeronautic, fashion, education, etc. Same way, France, as the world's fifth biggest economy, attracts all the entrepreneur, researcher, and the cream of the foreign students. So that is going to be a big advantage and a big career asset for everyone those who wants to learn this language. Then we comes to the fourth point: an introduction to an incomparable culture universe. So France is famous for its culture. So, like, what culture, that I'm going to explain you. France is often considered the language of culture. A French lesson is a culture journey into a world of fashion, gastronomy, the arts, the architect, and science. If we learn French, so that means we are entering into a culture of fashion, gastronomy, the arts, and even they are famous for their literatures. Learning French also offers the access to the work of great French writers, such as Victor Hugo and Marcel, and famous poet like Charles and Jacques Prévert in the original text. If you will see that, it means being able to hear the voices of actor Alain Delon or Julie Bijon. They are the famous actors from France, and the pleasure of being able to understand words of French songs. The very famous French singer Edith Piaf. Even then you will be able to sing yourself. Second, an introduction to an incomparable, fifth, an advantage for studying in France. Definitely, when you speak French, you will definitely get an advantage to study in France, and it will be easy for you to understand, to be there. So, speaking French always opens up doors for opportunities for higher education at some of France's best universities. If I talk about the Sorbonne in Paris, or even there are elite grand, big schools, École, HCE, often on very favorable financial terms, and student with a good level of French may be eligible to apply for the French government grant to enroll on the postgraduate course of their choice. That means uh, government of France offers various scholarship programs, so they are eligible for that, and which are internationally recognized. Then the sixth reason to learn French is visiting Paris and the rest of France. As I said, Paris, city of love, France city, country of love. So definitely, every dream of everyone to go there. So it will definitely help. So France is the world's top tourist destination and attracts more than 79 5 million visitors a year. And the ability to speak even a little French will make it so much more enjoyable to visit Paris and all regions of France. And it offers insight into French culture, mentality, and the way of life. French also comes in handy when traveling to Africa, Switzerland, Canada, Monaco. Okay, and there are various places where French is widely spoken. Then we have the language of international relation. French is both a working language and an official language of the United Nations, the European Union, UNESCO, NATO, the International Olympic Committee, the International Red Cross, and international courts. Proficiency in French is essential for anyone considering a career in any international organization. So definitely, it is also one of the best career for for the one who is learning French. Second, the eighth one now, a language that opens up the world. That means after English and German, French is the third most widely used language on the internet, ahead of Spanish. And an ability to understand French offers an alternative view of the world through communication with French speakers from all over the world and news from the leading French language international media like TV5 More, that is TV5, France 24, that is France 24, and the Radio France International. Then, ninth, a language of reasoning and debate. French is an analytical language that structures that structures the thoughts and develops critical thinking. It is the language of great philosophers and eminent scientists. In learning French, children also learn how to argue a case and present different points of view, valuable skills for discussion and negotiation. As we say, learning another language also increase our thinking power. So definitely it is going to be one of the best asset for the person who is learning French. 10th, the language of enlightenment. So French is the language of universal ideals advocated by various philosophers of the 18th century Enlightenment who helped to spread the idea of human rights throughout the world. 11th, a language that is fun to learn. Okay, contrary to popular belief, French is not a difficult language to learn. Yes, it is a language that requires a certain precision, but it is also capable of expressing grades. It does not take long to reach a level where you can communicate in French. There are many methods on the market that make learning French enjoyable. Starting with the first year of your school, French also appeals to study to the students because it is a soft, melodious, and the romantic language. 12th, a language for learning other language. Definitely, French is good grounding for learning other languages, especially Romance languages, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, and Romanian, and even English, since over half of modern day English vocabulary is derived from French. Then we have a high standard of teaching. Various French teachers are renowned for their dynamic, inventive approach and high expectations. Since French has a reputation of for excellence, students tend to be highly motivated and attain a high level of proficiency. France also plays an active role in providing in-service training for French teachers abroad, so that the courses are delivered are always of a high standard. Lot of trainings have been provided from France to the teachers all over the world, to give the best, and this standard of creative language. French is often heard on the stage. Teachers, like to put on plays in French and involve their students in French language theater festivals. Learning French helps to express themselves to others. Students also learn French through songs, and definitely, as we know, learning a new language that grooms one personality and grooms one communication skills. So yes, it is a creative language. Moving on to next 15, many exchange opportunities. It is easy for students to make contact with French speakers of their own age as pen pals or via internet. You can socially connect it because these days social media is very famous, and there are many different exchange programs happening all over the world in France that offers rewarding experiences. Even thousands of French schools, colleges, universities are twinned with counterparts around the world and creating links with the world's largest educational network. 16, a unique system of French international school. So some 310 million pupils are enrolled at 481 French schools in 133 country, and half of them are foreign nationals, which make the network of international French schools is truly unique. Next, we have promoting linguistic diversity. Speaking French makes a major contribution preserving linguistic diversity in the world and avoiding the exclusive domination of single language in today's globalization. So these all are the reasons that we should, learn French definitely. Now, let's talk about the career, the main point that we are here to discuss. Yes. Yeah, French, learning a language offers, various career opportunities. Like we talk about education field, one can be a school teacher, a university professor. It have a lot of options in multinational companies, travel and tourism, translation, and foreign services, hospitality, tourism. A person can be a guide. So these are what, finding a French language career may be challenging. Yes, definitely. But if you look in the right industries, you will be sure to find an industry which is rewarding and allows you to converse in French regularly. So definitely, when you find a suitable career for you, suitable industry for you in the field of language, definitely it will make you grow and develop your skills. So, and if I talk about that, French is the 16th most spoken language in the world, and it is still spoken in 54 countries, with 29 countries using it as their official. So 29 countries are using French as the official or one of their official languages. About 7.2 million people are using it as their mother tongue, and around 60.4 million using it as the first language speakers are located in France. Worldwide, more than 279.0 million are the French speakers. And if we talk, French is a vital language in commercial and administrative contexts. In many countries, such as Brazil, Poland, Greece, Egypt, India, etc., French is used as a business language in the African Union and a working language in in important international organizations like Amnesty International, the United Nations, UN, and the Médecins Sans Frontières. That's the French name. So here I'm going to discuss with you about the five career of French. You will be using your French language skills. As per survey, if I talk about, according to the studies and the surveys of language learners, French is an easy language for an English speaker to learn, definitely. As I am also, Hindi and English speaker, it is quite easy for me to learn, yes. Whether French is your mother tongue or you are bilingual or you have studied from France or any French universities, several opportunities for employment are available for you. Yes, we have compiled. So I'll be and compiling some of the few, these career opportunities. The first one is definitely that I am is a French teacher. If teaching is your vocation, if you're interested, and if you're fluent in the language, if you have the linguistic skill, so this is definitely going to be a good career option for you. And French is one of the most studied language today. So several language schools and mainstream schools need good French teachers nowadays, universities and all. So there are different opportunities for teaching, and the professional requirements, it differs. And one of the things you have to decide is the age group. Definitely you can either teach the kids, the early childhood and the kindergarten up to 6th grade, or you want to teach children in 7th to 12th grade. If I talk about my school, we are teaching French from grade 1 to 10th. So definitely a child who's studying French from class 1, he becomes more fluent till the time he reaches to class 9th and 10th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Yes. And if you have the right qualification, definitely, first you need to check the various qualifications. So several colleges, from several colleges and universities are offering the French program. And if I talk about Alliance Française, the Delhi is known as one of the best organization for this. I'm not promoting here, but yeah, that is one of the best organization. uh, then you can also try instructions that provide continuing education and language classes for adults. Now lot of things are available online. So there are different opportunities for teaching, and the professional requirements differ. And one of the things you have to decide is the age group. That I have already shared with you. So your teaching credential is the most important requirement in today's time for any teaching job, whether it's French or any. So find out. I suggest you all to find out the credentials, processing for the age group you want to teach, as this varies between countries. Yes, and the states also sometime. And then we have in all age group, categories are mentioned, depending on their curriculum, the way they design. Next we have interpreter or translator. So the language service are highly specialized, and requires more than being fluent in two languages. Yes, definitely when you want to translate, so you need to be more fluent, and you should have a high level in two languages. However, if you qualified offering French translation, that opens many opportunities for you to work from home or anywhere, because nowadays translation jobs are also provided, as work from home. And a translator deals with the written part, basically written words, so instructions, poetry, articles, book, or manuscript. And then our interpreter does oral translation, and it requires expertise. So most interpreter work for large organizations. They can also be connected to language service providers. Still, you may find freelance interpreting work in the tourism and travel sector, even education sector too. Yes, when we publish books and all, so they require translators and and the interpreters. So they are providing you the freelance opportunities. And if you are interested in interpreting or translation work, it is better to have a degree in interpreting or translation, because various universities and institutes, they are offering this translation course. Okay, so yes, then the third one is tourism, travel, and hospitality. So, if you are into traveling, if you love traveling, so definitely it is going to be a better opportunity for you. And if you speak French, then again it is an added advantage. So, the travel industry is one of your option to find work. You can consider a job as flight attendant, or even a ground crew for an airline. You can try finding work as a local tour guide for foreign tour groups. Basically, if we talk about French, so yes, from a person who visits from France or the Francophone country. Francophone countries are the French-speaking countries, and so work you can work as a local guide for them to go around the museums and other tourist destinations. Then you have many tour companies offer tour guides who speaks French and other languages too. So the hospitality field likewise needs French speakers. So you can work at Sky Resort, camp hotels, and even various restaurant, international restaurants. So there it is going to be benefit for you. Then you have if we talk about foreign service, yes, if have the right qualification, if you have the right qualification, you could have an amazing French career in diplomatic services. Yes, you can apply for a job as a French, as a foreign service staff in consultants and embassies around the world. The requirements vary from country to country, so it's a vital to search for information, yes, from the government website of the country that you wish to apply. And there could also be a waiting list once you pass the exam. So this type of work is not of, if you're looking something in very hurry, but yeah, it's a time taking process. But yes, it is going to be a wonderful career, amazing wonderful career that a person is going to have. Then the fifth one, we have multilingual proofreader. So, if you have an excellent understanding of French spelling and grammar, and you love reading, you can try applying as a proofreader in the publishing industry. Various publishing industries are being set up. They require proofreaders for their books, their magazines. So yes, you can apply that if you have love for reading, if you have love for writing, and if you have excellent understanding of French spellings. Publishing houses and magazines are possibly employers. They need people who can edit and proofread their material, and they also need time to time updation. So yes, that is going to be also a good career for you. You can also edit, proofread French language websites for translation errors, and the typos and the mistakes that we do that are automatically generated in the spelling, as it is an error, so that can be cleared. Then we have also, that is not mentioned here, you can work in the multinational companies. Nowadays, many multinational companies are looking for a person, French expert, who can work for the growth of their business internationally. So these are the career that which are mostly widely taken. So this is what. Thank you, Mr. Pradeep. Yeah.
Right, sir. Thank you so much for that because it's very relevant that people ask questions about learning any foreign language, and
Yes.
good that you have given an exposure to this on this format. So there are a few questions, sir. Fareen
Hmm.
Mohammed asks,
Okay.
uh, which foreign language is best for a career
See,
besides
there
for
are
English?
besides
For English.
besides English. Okay. Besides English, yes. If I suggest, then definitely French, German, Spanish. They are growing. Even Mandarin is growing. If we look into the business market and all, so they are the languages which are in demand right now. So I would suggest him to choose between French, German, Spanish, or Mandarin.
Okay. Are there any jobs which specifically require you to learn the French language? Maybe along with
Is
another
there,
language, but French is like necessary there.
uh, yeah, see, there are various companies, multinational companies. If any French company is opening in India, or any foreign country, I'll not take French here if he's asking about other language also. So if any other
Mm,
country is open, company is opening in our country or any other place, so yes, definitely sometimes they require the person who can work between their country people and their own country, means they have to create the proper relationship. It's a kind of a proper network. To create the proper network, yes, companies sometimes they require this language. It is necessary for a person to have a level in language.
yeah. And I guess if
Hmm.
you are migrating to Canada,
Hmm.
it's good to know French. It would be good to
Definitely,
know.
definitely. Definitely. Many of the students, college going students, and I have many students, they learn French because they are migrating to Canada. And
Mm,
yes, and mostly, that it is the language there. So it is
yeah,
definitely going to help them.
yeah.
Yes.
My brother did French a long time ago, and he migrated to Canada, and he found it a great help over there.
Okay. Yeah, it is
In
definitely a great help. So,
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening. And before we say goodbye, I would
yeah.
request you to watch our detox from our disruptive literacy movement by Global Dream, which has been an initiative by Dr. Sunita Gandhi since 2014. This is to ensure everyone's participation in a people's movement to ensure literacy and numeracy for all of India, especially our brothers who are not so privileged as us. So basically, each one teach one, and those of us who can afford to teach more than one should do so, so that we bridge this gap as soon as possible. And we have several talks on this. So for more information, please go to 740-840-1000. So good evening, everybody, and goodbye. See you again tomorrow. And thank you, Mr. Mahendra Vikram Singh, for that
Thank you.
talk on yes French as a
Thank you,
career.
sir. Thank you, sir.